A waiter who was charged last month in connection with the death of Liam Payne has been arrested in Argentina for allegedly selling the late singer cocaine. Brian Nahuel Payne was arrested on Friday, January 3 at his home outside of Buenos Aires, 4 days after he was charged in Payne's death by Argentina's National Criminal and Correctional Prosecutor's Office. His lawyer Fernando Medio Fecent confirms to People. He is facing between 4 and 15 years in prison. Both he and Fecent have maintained Payne's innocence, with Payne telling local news outlet Noticias in November that while he and Payne did take drugs together, he did not supply the drugs and never accepted money from the star. Payne died on October 16 at age 31 after falling from the third floor of his hotel room balcony at the Casa Sur Hotel. Fecent, who did not immediately respond to People's request for comment, called Payne innocent during a December 20 appearance on the Argentinian show El Diario de Mariana. He's consumed drugs for some time. He says it openly, Fecent said. Payne and Payne talked about a lot of topics. In fact, he is a lifelong fan of One Direction. He had affection for Liam and respected him. He took advantage of the opportunity of the encounter in the restaurant where he worked. They exchanged messages, had lengthy and fluid conversations. They talked about a lot of topics. At one point, they did talk about having a personal encounter, of having a good time, having fun, having an intimate and private encounter. Payne was among 5 people charged on December 30 by Argentina's National Criminal and Correctional Prosecutor's Office. In a press release, officials announced manslaughter charges against the Casa Sur hotel manager and receptionist, as well as a friend of Payne's. The BBC identified those charged as Gilda Martin, Esteban Grassi, and Roger Norris, respectively. The prosecutor's office also announced that a hotel employee, identified as EDP, and a waiter, called BNP, were charged with supplying drugs. The BBC identified the men as Ezequiel Pereira and Payne. The release said Payne is suspected of selling Payne cocaine twice on October 14, 2 days before his death. Norris was charged with manslaughter after allegedly failing to fulfill his duties of care, assistance, and help toward Payne after he abandoned him, knowing he suffered from multiple addictions. Martin is being charged with manslaughter for allegedly failing to prevent Payne from being taken to his hotel room just before his death. Grassi, meanwhile, was charged with manslaughter for allegedly asking 3 people to drag Payne, who could not stand on his own, to his room instead of keeping him safe, per the statement. Authorities previously said in a press release that Payne was not fully conscious or was experiencing a state of noticeable decrease or loss of consciousness at the time of the fall. In the moments before his death and in the period of at least his last 72 hours, Payne had traces of polydrug use of alcohol, cocaine, and a prescription antidepressant in his body. The release from authorities in Argentina stated. The singer was laid to rest on November 20 at a funeral in the English countryside that was attended by girlfriend Kate Cassidy and former One Direction bandmates Harry Styles, Louis Tomlinson, Zayn Malik, and Niall Horan.